Hi English Comm students! I'm Sarah Hebert from the library, and today we're going to talk about library resources that you can use for this class and future classes. Specifically, we'll discuss how to find books, as well as how to use databases to find articles electronically. Let's get started. So let's begin by looking at some of the resources on the research guide. This is a guide that was created specifically for College Comm students, and you'll find lots of helpful things here. First of all, on the right-hand side, there's a chat box. Anytime you have a question, that will link you directly to a staff member at the Puxta Library. Other information about the library is down here as well. So over here on the left-hand side, we have library hours as well as contact information if you need to get in touch with us. Also up here, there are links to streaming videos, quick study handouts. Those can be helpful because they have things like common grammar mistakes, how to set up an argumentative essay, things like that. Some information on citations, of course, how to get help from library staff, information on our tutoring resources here at the college. Also want to point out to you that there is a service down here that you can submit a paper for review, and one of the tutors will go through, they'll spend an hour looking over your paper, and then they'll provide you with feedback. So that's a quick overview of the resources that are available on the research guide. Today, though, we're going to look at a couple specific things. And the first one we're going to look at is books and ebooks. So a lot of times when people think about a library, they think of a brick building with a bunch of books. But modern libraries aren't really like that. In fact, the majority of our books are ebooks. So this is a box that allows you to search the entire ebook collection. The ebook collection for River Valley students is about 200,000 titles, all in full text. And what's really great about it is that those are available for you 24/7. So if you want to look for an ebook, you just come here and you put in your topic. So for today's video, my topic is going to be community gardens. So I will start by putting in community gardens, and then I'm going to press search. So here are my results. It found 37 different books that have something to do with community gardens. And again, these books are available to me whether I'm on campus or off campus 24/7. So I can scroll down and I can take a look. Perhaps this is a good one for my paper, Community Gardening as Social Action. I'm going to click on that. And then from here, over on the left-hand side, I can choose to take a look at the table of contents, and then I can access the book directly from there. Now, if you like an ebook and you want to return to it, the easiest thing to do is to come up, click on what's called the permalink. That will create a permanent link for you. And then you can copy that and save it into your notes, and that link will allow you to access the book again. So we're going to exit this book and come back to the research guide. The second option is a book from the library's physical collection. Now keep in mind, this is a much smaller collection than the ebook collection. So again, there is a search box. I'm going to put in my search, community garden, and take a moment to note here, if you live closer to Keene or Lebanon, pretty much on a weekly basis, we have a member of the library staff going to one of those campuses. So if you want to, you can request a book. Just give us a call at the Claremont campus and say, hey, I'm looking for this book. Can you send it down to Keene or can you send it up to Lebanon? And we'll be happy to do that for you. So I'm going to press search. And then you can see here that we have just a few books on community gardens in the physical collection. If I wanted to take a look at this one, Start a Community Food Garden, there's information about the book, as well as it tells me that it's checked in, also that it's in Claremont. So again, if you're in Keene or Lebanon, just give us a call at the library and we'd be happy to bring the book to you. Okay, so we're going to close out of this and take a look at how to find an article. So back on the LibGuide, click on the Articles tab. And then there's a search box for you. So in this case, a search will also include physical books in the library as well as ebooks. So keep that in mind. So again, we're going to put in our search for community gardens. And then it brings us to some results. The first thing that came up is called a research starter. Those can be really great places to start because they'll give you background about the topic that you're researching. It's almost like reading an encyclopedia article. So maybe not something that you'll actually use in your paper, but it gives you an overview so you know where to go next. Other things that we see in here, there's that book again, Start a Community Food Garden. And then it starts getting into actual articles. Now you can see some of these are really, really specific and they may not be exactly what you're looking for. So like this one is about a community garden complex in northeastern Brazil. If you're receiving a lot of things back that are not super relevant, it may be helpful to add a few keywords. So in this case, I'm kind of interested in how community gardens impact crime. So I'm going to put in community gardens and crime. And then I'm going to do the search again. And now you can see we have a lot less results, but they're much more specific. So this first one is on crime in Vancouver, stabilizing neighborhoods and the result of community gardens, the effect of community gardens on property crimes in Houston. So they're very specific. If you like something in here, you have some different options. I like to go to Access Now. And then you can either read the online full text or the PDF. I always choose PDF because that will include page numbers as well as any images that were included in the article. And here's my article. I can read through it, and it does say that community gardens in this case helped, well, had a correlation with reduced crime rates. Couple things to show you up here. First of all, you can download PDFs. You can also like an item. It'll create a list of different articles or books that you've liked that you can go back and revisit. You can use the citation tool. So it defaults to this Brazilian style, but you can come down here, choose either APA or MLA, and it will create an MLA citation for you. One note though, a computer created this citation, so I always recommend that you double check these using a citation manual. I would not blindly trust the database to create citations. Also up here, you can add it to a project. So if this was for my research paper, I could add it to that folder. And you can create lots and lots of different folders for different projects and different classes. And you can also share this. So you could create a link that you could post onto a discussion board, you could send to your instructor or a friend who's working with you on a paper. You can also email yourself a link and a copy of the article. There are a couple other things that I want to point out about searching that might be helpful. So we're going to go back. There are other filters that you can put on here. One of the helpful ones is date range. So in a lot of cases, you'll be researching something where you need really current information. In those cases, you could choose the past 12 months, you could create a custom range, and you can have the last 3 months, depending on what you needed. The other really popular one we use is peer-reviewed. That means that it was written by an expert in the discipline and reviewed by other experts before it could be published. So a resource like, let's say, People Magazine, that's not peer-reviewed. The people who write those articles aren't experts in those subjects. But something like Police Journal, is written by experts in police work, scholars in that field, and then reviewed by other scholars before any of the articles can be published. So if you want to, you can refine by that. And sometimes your instructors will specifically ask you to do that. They'll ask for peer-reviewed or scholarly articles. And there are other things too. You can limit by source type, you can limit by language. There are a lot of different filters that you can choose to place on your results so that you're only getting the resources that you want. I hope you have a better understanding of all of the different resources that are available to you as River Valley students. However, one more resource, and that's help from the library staff. Specifically, you can ask me for research help. You can call me, you can email me, we can meet in person or by Zoom, and I will be happy to help you with your research. Research might not be your favorite thing, but I love it, so please don't hesitate to ask me for help. Here's some information on how you can contact me and other members of the library staff.